on behalf of people from across the north and from people across the province impacted by hydro. We had a gathering in the PAW last week. We had people from 16 different First Nations and other Indigenous communities, Indigenous nations, as well as allies, researchers, and people very passionate about learning about how Manitoba Hydro is operating in our province, how we as consumers and how we as really Manitoba Hydro, because this is our crown corporation. We are Manitoba Hydro. That's my mantra when I get up every morning and I'm trying not to feel guilty. Ashlyn, you're Manitoba Hydro. Wow, process that. Oh. That's awesome. It does bring a lot of joy to my heart to speak today. The work I do tends to be really heavy, so as I'm standing here, I want to ask you to notice that we're in a circle. I want you to look around and see if there's anyone who looks like they need water. Ask them if they're getting a little heat stroke. Come over and get water for yourself or your neighbor. And also, if you haven't already painted your face, get the heck over there. I'm coming. I'm coming. So I work for a community up on the Nelson River, directly down from the battery, the reservoir, our Great Lake, Lake Winnipeg, which, as you know, is constantly under threat, constantly being filled up with green gunk. It's difficult to even swim right now. When they pull water out of their tap, it is treated water that is flowed up through Genpeg Dam and got into their treatment plant, which I'm not entirely sure gets all that junk out. So their water is threatened. Every aspect of their daily lives is impacted by hydro. And it's incredibly hard to protect. The water goes up, the water goes down without any warning. So that's creating threats on the land that they know intimately, land that they've traveled for hundreds and thousands of years. And when they go out now, the ice might be covered in slush. Ice might be hanging over open water because it's gone down. And in the summertime, as they're traveling up and down their riverways, trying to connect with the land, trying to be Pimicikamak, trying to teach their children everything that they need to know to be from that place, they're encountering ways where they can't get to where they used to be. They're encountering debris, and when they set nets to fish, the nets are full of debris. So again, I don't want to create guilt, but when you do charge your devices, when you do flick on your TV and leave it going all day long, even if you're not watching it, all those ways that we waste energy, consider that you are connected to the riverways that flow all through our watershed and directly north through that beautiful Great Lake that we need to pray for, and further north through the Nelson. We've talked about some of the really crazy things that this pipeline is intending to do. It's intending to switch an old pipeline and go the opposite direction. Some of you may not know that within our province in 1976, the Churchill River, the mighty Churchill, something storied in our history as Canadians and as people on this land, they changed its direction too. 75% of the Churchill River now flows south 300 kilometers and goes through the Burntwood, through the Wisquatam Dam, into the Nelson, and increases the ability to generate hydro on that river until it reaches Churchill. So we need to find ways to teach each other these things. I could probably talk all day. And the work that I do is difficult, so I don't want to make any light. I don't want to make light of this. It's difficult learning, and it constantly breaks my heart as I travel north. I stood on the cut line on Bipole 3 two weeks ago, and I have to tell you, it is devastating to stand there. It's even more devastating to stand there with the man who's inherited that trap line and wanted to pass it down to his grandchildren. So We need to think about the connection between hydro and pipeline. Really quickly, what that is, those generating stations that push the dilbit through that pipeline that's going to go in the wrong direction will demand 40 to 50% of the energy off of Kiosk Dam. We haven't even built it yet. We've already committed, in theory, the proposed pipeline has already gobbled up 50% of the energy from Kiosk Dam. How big is Kiosk? According to Minnesota, a sustainable dam, because we keep being told hydro is clean, green, sustainable, all that good, healthy greenwash language. A healthy dam, according to Minnesota, our largest consumer for hydro energy is 100 megawatts or less. Kiosk is 695 megawatts, nowhere near sustainable, and it's not even the biggest. We have ones that are 1,010 megawatts, 1342 megawatts. Amazing dams, terrifying to stand on if you understand the history of hydro generation in this province, the way we talk about hydro, the way we celebrate that amazing Platinum LEED certified building downtown, which is actually the most green building in Turtle Island, all of North America. It's a really big billboard, really big billboard. So if you have questions, I'm going to stay after. And I just ask that you think, I am connected to the Nelson River, and the more we build pipelines, the more we justify Manitoba Hydro's license, their sense of obligation to build mega dams which throw thousands and thousands of tons of concrete into the rivers we have yet remaining and plug into all the existing damage that has been done to our rivers, also our livers actually. People are dying from mercury poisoning, but our rivers, our streams, our creeks, and our Great Lakes. So, Chimagwich, Ekasi on behalf of Pimicikamak Okimawin and all the Cree in the north, and I'll throw it back to Leah. Thank you.